Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
There you are.
Hey.
How's it going, Ramel?
Going good, Jim. How are you?
Got an email telling me that our video is now live on YouTube. Thanks, email.
We should send out an email to our fans.
To our fans, to our super fans. How are you? How have you been, buddy?
I'm good. We during the storm this week, Chicago had a storm.
Yes,
we lost some power.
I believe it was 13 tornadoes. I think we're up to 13. You lost power?
Yeah, no power for like 3 days. It was insane. 2 days.
What'd you do?
We went over to my mother-in-law's house, Kathy, who always watches the show. It's very
good. Glad she's got power.
Yeah, got power. Got the good Wi-Fi, the fiber.
Ooh, maybe she got fiber.
She got the AT&T fiber, I guess.
Let's start doing these shows from over there.
I was thinking about it because ComEd kept telling us that it was going to be going until the 15th, and I was like, I could do this show in my mother-in-law's bedroom.
Yeah, but then we'd lose a viewer.
Yeah,
that would cut our viewership down by like 38%, and I would be really sad.
How are you?
Good. I've been working. Work has been like, this is the craziest week of the year at work. But today we went to the zoo. We went to the Brookfield Zoo.
Hey.
Yeah. Like did our little night zoo thing. It's like, it closes at 6, so we go from like 4 to 6, and they have the dinosaurs up. So she like looks at all the dinosaurs.
What dinosaur?
Oh, so they do. Oh, yeah. So they're like, you know how they always do like a thing. They always do like they'll do zoo lights or the boo at the zoo. Last year they did the Legos, so they had like all these Lego animals everywhere. So there's like 45 like animatronic dinosaurs throughout the zoo.
45?
Yeah, I think 45 or 50 or 40 or 50. Some, but like just a shit ton of like full size, life size, like animatronic dinosaurs, and they don't look dumb. Like they look dumb when I do it. But they're like, it's like the head engineer from like your first Jurassic Park movie. Yeah, like they're like legit. And right on the main lawn is like a full size brontosaurus, which is the biggest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's like, I don't know how they got it there. Paige is like, in pieces. I'm like, okay, so cut that in 5 pieces. How did you get here? Like, there was still a semi truck of dinosaur parts that at some point had to like bring this thing into the zoo. But it's
I always think about this because they're saying now that dinosaurs might have all had feathers.
Mm-hmm. Some of these have feathers.
Oh, they do.
Some of them
like,
do. Yeah.
Like the T-Rex might have had like a whole thing of feathers, and we don't know. You know.
Right.
So we've just been displaying like a bald T-Rex. Like in like 100 million years from now, when they dig up your bones and they put you together, and they're like, "Oh, and here's what he looked like."
I think about this all the time.
Really? Me too.
Like what in the future museum, humans will be holding like 2 coffee cups. Maybe we'll have feathers. Maybe we'll just have lizard skin.
Yeah.
Or like we'll have hair in like weird places. We're like, well, they probably had, because it's weird. Without getting gross, it's weird to me that I have hair in the places that I have hair.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why did like armpit, like you'd think that like just like friction would say this is the first to go, and somehow it's the last. It's still there, like
remains
from chimpanzee to human, and it's like no, you need hair 4 places.
Also, these are exclusively for expression and nothing else. And
but they're not on our skulls, so we're all just going to be flat. It's going to be like just flat, foreheaded, expressionless.
Yeah,
holding 2 coffee cups, like drinking pots of coffee. It's like this is what they did. They slapped their keyboards a lot.
Yeah, and then like for some reason that we're always like fighting with an elephant because they don't know how we interacted with things.
Like how the caveman's always throwing a spear at a leopard. You're like,
yeah.
Dude, that thing ate that man. There's no way this dum-dum with a stick fought that saber-toothed tiger.
Oh.
I wouldn't go that far, Bill. I wouldn't go that far.
Hello, Bill France.
Yeah, no, I have that thought all the time. Like, what will the future? And it's not going to be 100 million years. It'll be like, how long does it take? So this civilization is going to end in like 15 years.
Right.
So then, however long it takes for cockroaches to get super smart or whatever, then they'll figure it out.
I don't know. We should ask them.
Oh, they'll tell us. So,
okay,
it's WALTERMOÜS night.
Hey,
we can't legally say that we're about to go to town on Disney books, but
really,
can't we?
Is this sort of like the Super Bowl? Is that illegal now too?
No, you can say. So my understanding is like you can't reference the Super Bowl in an advertisement, but you can you can say it's the Super Bowl, right? Like,
yeah.
Carly, when you like you can't say it for money, and we're not doing this for money.
So we can say,
therefore, just because we're bad at our jobs, we can say what we want.
Yes.
Oh, we're only 15 months. I got it. So there's a time delay. I was like, 15 months. Did I mention a 15-month-old? I said like when civilization's over in 15 years. And both her and Bill, probably from separate rooms in the same house, made the same joke. You guys should get married.
Get together. Watch the show together.
Yeah. No, don't. I like that we have 2 viewers. Don't cut into the numbers, damn it.
Okay.
So tonight we're going to read some book goods and we're going to read some book bads, and they are all from the wonderful world of Disney. It's a well that never dries up for me. I feel like there's a lot more bad than good.
I think you have a lot more Disney books than I do. Actually, we don't have a few over here.
As winter gets older, you're gonna get them.
Yeah.
A lot of them have just been thrown at me. One of my book bads. Which we'll get into it, but I love this book, and she loves this book. This is the Disney Princess Comics collection. It is essentially just like a comic book version of the movie, and the movie Beauty, like 4 movies, and Aladdin is the best one, and it's her favorite one, and it's my favorite one because it's basically like a word perfect like script from the movie. It's got like all the actual jokes the genie does. It doesn't try to do that thing that most of these books do where they're like, we'll write better jokes than Robin Williams. No, you won't. You're terrible. Like it does the whole like here's the whole like he's doing the you talking to me? Excuse me? Did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? Like it's the best. I love it. But they got greedy and put a couple like side stories in here, and they're terrible. And we're gonna go through that.
We're gonna do
this book just we stole this from my cousin's house.
Oh, yeah.
Lane was like, "Can I have this?" And my cousin was like, "Yes, you can."
Absolutely.
And her kids were like, "What the fuck was our book?"
Yeah, we need to inherit some more Disney books. We're doing some book goods first, though, yeah.
Yes, we are. How much? I think I'm starting. I'm gonna start. Then you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my book good tonight is where do all my banners go? Here we go. So this is called Friends in Need. I like to call it Zazu Begins because it's an origin story of how Mufasa and Zazu became good pals. We talked about this for a minute off air. I feel like so many of these spinoffs are like, let's tell another story.
Yeah.
Of what happens next. This one's like, no, let's tell a story.
Let's go back.
What happened before? We're still going to copy many of the same plot points from the movie. Oh, sorry. I'm watching this on the iPad to make sure it's good. And I don't know. Oh, we're still live. It's fine. It dropped out for a second. Riveting. This is riveting. Let's start. Friends in Need. Uh-oh. Look at that. Look at that. We start in the action. Once upon a time, when the Pride Lands were new and the great Lion King Mufasa was still growing, he came upon a little hornbill in big trouble. A little bird in big trouble. The bird was a hornbill named Zazu, and he was about to be cooked by some hungry young hyenas.
I just have to say, so this, in Zazu's life, this has happened twice to him at least.
Oh, I assume this happens constantly.
That they take him over a hot geyser and they dodo bird him all the way to the birdie boiler.
But they always do it for 1 minute too long. And then Carly brings a good point. I don't know much about how we got this book, but I know it was $1.95 from somewhere. I actually don't know where this book came from. I think this was like a hand-me-down, but it can only have been handed me down since '94, so I don't know. Very cheap. So for the value, Mufasa gave a mighty roar. Well, it wasn't a very mighty roar because he was still a small lion, but it was mighty enough to frighten off the young hyenas. The little bird introduced himself with a grand bow. Then he said, "Thank you for saving my life, Mufasa. I hope that one day I might be of service to the future Lion King."
Good job.
It's okay. Proud Mufasa laughed to himself. How could such a little bird be of any use to a lion? But the little bird was determined to help somehow, so he hovered over Mufasa day and night. Wherever Mufasa went, Zazu followed. Mufasa began to feel as if he'd grown a second shadow. That's a clever illustration choice, I feel.
Yeah.
"Go away," the young lion roared. But Zazu shook his feathered head. "You helped me, now I must help you." "But you're ruining my hunt," Mufasa groaned. "I can help you hunt," Zazu offered. "I will fly up and tell you where the game is." But the sound of the little bird's wings warned the antelope away. Zazu even hovered above Mufasa when he wanted to be alone with his future bride, Sarabi.
Jeez, Zazu.
I love it. Cock block Zazu.
Be a pal. Get out of here.
Nope. He's just there the whole time. "You guys want to play a game? Who wants to play Yahtzee?" While the two young lions strolled, the hornbill chattered. "I know everything that happens in the Pride Lands," he bragged. "I see it all from my bird's eye view. Why, over there, your brother Scar is teasing a mouse." Which is the thing he apparently also does. "Can't you keep quiet for 1 minute?" Mufasa asked. "Of course," Zazu exclaimed. "Once I didn't say a word for nearly 3 days. It's a funny story, really. You see, ... That's funny.
Yeah, good.
And on the chatter went until one day Zazu saw several vultures circling above a distant gorge. He pointed out the birds to Mufasa and said, "Shall I fly over to see what's happening, sire?" Mufasa yawned. "What does a future king care about ugly old vultures?" he asked. "There's probably just some small creature over there." Then he settled down for a catnap.
Oh boy.
Zazu was too curious to sleep, so he flew over to the gorge. As he got closer, the hornbill saw the vultures were circling a deep pit, and at the bottom was Sarabi.
Oh no.
The lioness looked up at Zazu and said, "I can't get out." "I will help you," Zazu screeched, and with a flap of his shiny blue wings, he was off. Zazu flew to Mufasa as fast as he could. Mufasa snapped wide awake the minute he heard Zazu's news and raced to the gorge to save his future bride. But once he'd scared away the vultures, Mufasa didn't know what to do. If he climbed in the pit, he would be trapped too. "Sire, over here," Zazu called. "You can toss down this tree trunk and then Sarabi can climb up." Mufasa quickly dragged the heavy trunk over to the pit. Then he lowered it down for Sarabi. In seconds, Sarabi climbed to freedom. She rubbed her soft cheek against Zazu and purred, "You saved my life."
Aww.
"And you taught me a valuable lesson," Mufasa added. "The Lion King needs to know everything that goes on in his kingdom, no matter how unimportant it might seem," Mufasa told Zazu. "I knew you'd come around, sire," Zazu began. "Why, it was only a matter of—" "I wasn't finished." "I have also learned that no creature is so small that he cannot be useful in his own way." Therefore, when I am king, you shall be my advisor. You will fly over the kingdom, tell me everything you see, and alert me to anything that needs my immediate attention. And that's just what Zazu did for all the years of Mufasa's reign. What do you see from up there? Mufasa called to his new friend. Zazu chattered, I see a bright future for King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi, and for their right paw advisor, Zazu the Hornbill. The end.
Very good.
Fine. Cute.
Some questions.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's things that I roll my eyes at.
They need to avoid the gorge at all costs.
The gorge is always bad. The hyenas are always dancing with their food. Apparently, Scar has been playing with a mouse for like 14 years when we meet him.
It's also sad because this is what Simba's life would have been like, just walking around, hanging out.
I need more beer. I'm not gonna do it. I need more beer to get James Earl Jonesy.
I thought it was really good, James Earl Jones too.
It came in and out. It fluctuated. Yeah, it's the message is simple, right? Like even a little bird can help a big king.
Yeah,
and I just like that. Like, it's a recycled story. They essentially recycled Act 1 from The Lion King. But all these stories do that. All of them are like, the mean stepsisters came back and were mean to Cinderella again. This is stupid. But at least this was like, oh, how did this bird? I have a question that I've never had, and nobody cares, of how Zazu met Mufasa.
Right.
Let's answer that story. It's like, I don't know. Well, it's fine.
Well, that's also the thing too, because like he sings the line, "If this is where the monarchy is headed, count me out of service, out of Africa." Like it seems like this is a position that is just like always filled by birds for kings. Yeah. And that's sort of what I understood it as in the Lion King. But now it's like, this is a special position because they have a special friendship.
Yes.
Or nicer.
Or there's some other doofus bird that's currently hanging out with Mufasa's dad. And he's like, that guy is dumb.
Yeah.
And so or maybe it's like a different animal. Maybe it's like,
right.
I don't know.
An alligator.
An alligator. You're like, you can't see shit from down there. And you always have to keep going back to the water. You can only.
Would you like some news from the river?
No, the river's. I can't. No, I can do nothing to help you.
Okay, well, I will go back to the river. You're
a terrible advisor, alligator.
Crocodile. There's no alligators in Africa. I just remember this.
It's interchangeable. Green land snake monster is what I call them. What have you got there on the pile of book goods?
I have a book good called All Ears. This is a very special book because Winter likes this book a lot, or has liked this book before. It's very good for little ones, and it's also relatively short.
And that is Thumper of Bambi's name.
This is Bambi's friend, Thumper, who I never noticed before, but he only has one tooth. Is that clear in the movie? I don't remember this.
I don't think I've seen the movie in like 15 years.
Yeah, me neither.
Actually, more like 30 years.
They also clarify this by saying that it's bunnies. I don't know.
I from here, I thought there's a J, and I just thought like it was the author, like J Bunnies.
Anyway, all ears. I'm Thumper. Who are you? When I'm curious, my ears go forward. Make my ears bend toward you. And then.
Oh, fun.
Look at that. He's super curious. Did you hear that? When I'm listening, one of my ears turns out. Make one ear point to the side. So you got to do a little bit like that. And he looks like he's listening.
Oh. Can she do that?
She didn't really have the skill yet when she was younger. But nowadays, probably. We haven't really read this book in a while, but it was a favorite for a couple of months.
Okay.
Did the bee surprise you too? When I'm scared, I hide my eyes, bend my ears down. Look. Oh no, Thumper's scared. The bee didn't stay and play. When I'm sad, my ears are sad too. Can you make them lie back? And this one always gets me because look how sad he looks.
Aw, that does make him look sad.
Oh, poor Thumper. What's that? You want to play? When I'm happy, my ears stand up. Make them point to the sky. Yay! Back to normal.
I bet that's the last page of the book.
That is most certainly the last page of the book.
Perfect. And the added, this is a little thing, but the added fix the book the way it starts before we close it is very smart.
Top notch.
Lane has a book where you put Band-Aids on animals. It's like these reusable Band-Aids. She loves it. But every time we're done, then when the next time she wants to read the book, we have to go through and take all the Band-Aids off, put them back at the beginning so she could do the Band-Aids again.
Something similar.
Yeah.
We ended up getting this like counting book that like you press the cow or like whatever they're counting and it has like a popping thing.
Okay.
And she loves this book. But like you flip it over and then you count another thing and you
it's the dot. Polka dot? Is it called polka dot?
Yeah, polka dot.
Yeah. And then you the next page you're popping them back.
Popping them back out. But then if she skips a few, then the whole thing is messed up for the rest of for the next time.
Which she always did.
Yeah. Same.
She would get halfway or skip a page. I'm like, no, you gotta. Or then and then I would feel bad because she would be pushing one that she, like a doofus, didn't push the last time.
Yeah.
She'd be like, broke. And I'd be like, no, my sweet dum dum, come here. I'll do it.
Come here, we have to. Yeah.
You're not the only one who's all ears, man.
I like it. I mean, it's good when it because like. The only other type of book that's interactive for kids is the flat books. But then like these ones, it's like, oh, I've got stuff to do, and like I can really, I like reading emotion books. I think it's valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, you want your kid to know happy, sad, scared.
Happy, sad, scared.
And that it's okay to be those things. Lane now will be like, Daddy, are you frustrated? I'm like, yeah. Yes, I am. Like, we've accidentally given her way too much emotional intelligence. Like, we should have taught her like Spanish or something. But now she's just like, Daddy. I think I told you this story off air. Maybe I told it on air. I'm going to tell it again anyway. There was a real trying time in this house about 2 weeks ago where like every now and then you think you have a slam dunk, and because your children are the Joker, they just go the other way where you're like, we're going to wake up early and I'm going to take you to the park. And there's a park by our house where there's no kids at 7:30 in the morning and it's open. Like it's in the suburbs. So it's not the Chicago park. It's like, it's open. We're going to get there at 7:30. I'm going to get myself a coffee. We're going to go to the park for an hour. Mommy's going to have an hour to like do nothing. It's going to be great. And so I'm like, we're going to the park. No, Paige had to like go to work. So it's just me and her. And I was like, we're going to the park. And she's like, no. I'm like, what? Because. I'm like, what? You love the park. Last night before bed, you're like, Daddy, can I go to the park now? I'm like, no, you're going to bed now. And then in the morning, I'm like, guess what? You can go to the park now. She's like, no. So drama ensued. And I got to the point where I got so frustrated that she was in the kitchen and I just left. I'm like, Lane, we're not going to go to the park. If you can't, you tell me when you're ready. You just tell me when you're ready. And I went in the room and sat on the couch and was just defeated. Mm-hmm. 30 seconds go by and she tiptoes in the room, looks at me, very slowly walks towards me and gets up on the couch and looks at me and puts her hand on my leg and is like, I know it's hard, Dad. I know it's hard. And I'm like, I laugh cried where I'm like, do you? I know it's hard, Dad. Do you want to go to the park? I'm like, yes, let's go to the park. Okay. She was ready. I'm like, you're just fucking with me. You're just.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little abusive in that I know it's hard. It doesn't clarify that I know I'm being hard right now.
Correct. No, it's just I know tolerating me is difficult. I know it's hard. I'm not going to do anything to alleviate it. Just telling you. Anyway, you want to go to that park now? Now that it's 9 o'clock and all the kids are there? Let's go.
She's sensitive. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I think we're on that road too. I think we're making Winter a little sensitive. The other day I was wearing my big shorts, and
what's that mean?
I have a pair of gym shorts that are just a little too big for me, and they're like
you said that like it was a thing. You're like, yeah, I was wearing my oversized shorts that everyone's got big shorts.
They're like super comfortable, and it's good for the summer. But like, she just woken up and she wanted to come talk to me, and then she like yanked the shorts down, and I was like, like my bare ass was just out in the living room. And then like I was like, no, Winter, don't do that. And I think she thought I was mad at her.
Yeah, right.
And then she like burst into tears, and but actually it was like one of the funniest things that's ever happened. And like I felt so bad.
Right.
But like she like knows that like, anger and like fear.
Right. No. Right. I hear your wife laughing in the background that your daughter pantsed you. First of all, that you have big shorts, and that your 1.5-year-old was like, these are stupid, and ripped them off of you.
I mean, they're not stupid. They're comfortable. They're for the house.
I think there's 2 ladies in your house that might disagree with you.
They're just for me. Can I have something for myself?
There are very few things left for Dad. Big shorts, and alcohol. That's all we've got.
That's all I got.
Oh, that's enjoyable.
Let's do some bad Disney books. Yeah,
bad. So as promised, we're gonna get seriously. If you're a lawyer, you have to tell me, and you have to get the fuck out, because we're gonna do. I added what? I took some pictures. So this is a short one, page count. It's only 8 pages, but it's a comic book, right? It's very. So I'm going to read this, but I'm also going to put it on the screen for your viewing pleasure. So this is a Beauty and the Beast. Oh, well, first of all, this is my book bag.
Look at what we do for you.
Look at what we do. Look at what we risk for you people. It doesn't even have a name. It's the weird comic spinoff. I think it does have a name. It's part of a 3-part story that tells a cohesive, but it doesn't. I'm like, oh, these stories connect, and then I get to the end. I'm like, I'm more confused.
Yeah,
I was before. Okay, here we go. This is what happens when your kids when you're getting pantsed, and she's gonna start tying your shoelaces together. I think I could just read this off the screen. If you let's see. Here we go. Okay, so it starts with howling and crashing and smashing. No, I need to read it out of the book. I will. You can follow along. I need. My eyes are not good. Okay, here we go. So Cogsworth. Oh dear. There he goes again, as regular as my dear old grandfather.
Ah.
Yeah, except this is where it starts. There's like 5 clock puns, and I'm like, dude, your grandfather was a human being.
Right.
You were a human being 20 minutes ago.
But maybe he had an abusive grandfather.
He was just constantly as regular at throwing shit as old grandfather. Okay, here we go. As regular as my dear old grandfather. At least he's dependable. He can always be counted on to raise a fuss. What a grouch, says little Chip. It's not polite to criticize, Chip. Dinnerware should always know its place setting.
Oof.
So on page 1, it's like, can I do 10 shitty puns about nothing that makes me hate these characters that are otherwise lovable?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Why is he so crabby about Mama? We're the ones who got turned into furniture and dishes. I rather think we got the best of the lot, my dear. I don't think I've ever looked better. Problematic. Again.
Upsetting.
First of all, we're servants, and then we got turned into shit, and it's this. Oh no, it's good. I'm happy to be a teapot.
Yeah.
I think we got the best end of this.
You can barely see my pores.
Right. I've never looked better. Well, no one asked me. I wish I'd been turned into a big, ferocious beast. Nothing has changed, says Miss Potts. Our lives are just the same as they always were. Mais oui, we are truly dedicated. I certainly have nothing better to do with my time, said Cogsworth.
Oh, God.
I hate this story so much. I don't like people even in the movie. It's like they're like, she's the one who could break the spell. We can stop being shit and go back to being people. And on page 1, it's like, I have nothing better to do. Might as well be a clock. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I still say he's a crab, says Chip. I can't say the master is very much changed either. The tantrums he threw as a child, were no less fierce. Why must you talk so loud, Lumiere? I speak my mind! Like, that's a fun one to yell. Unlike you, I do not hesitate. I'll have you know I haven't lost a second all this time.
Oh, my goodness.
Everything he says is a clock pun. The poor soul was always off on the wrong foot, said Miss Potts. The master must have pulled a Lulu to get us into this fix.
Pulled a Lulu?
I don't know. That's like the one line of dialogue that was written 200 years ago by like a folksy grandfather.
Yeah.
Master must have pulled a real Lulu to get us into this fix. That's how kids talk, right? It was true. He was not the friendliest child.
Oh, wait.
What?
So they clarify that this happened to him as a kid.
Yes. So this is why I hate this story so much. All the stuff we've talked about, Beauty and the Beast, how the timeline's weird, how the enchantress is I'm putting out there that the evil enchantress or the magical lady, whatever, the woman who casts the spell is the most vile villain in the entire Disney canon, and it gets glossed over because she shows up, puts a spell on an 11-year-old. This confirms that he was like 11.
That's insane. That's crazy.
And also 50 servants. And you'll see it. You'll see it.
Okay.
It's more. There's more. He was not the friendliest child. Wouldn't give a beggar the time of day. Tell me more about the young prince, Mama. Well, I'm not speaking of time as what? Well, I'm not speaking of time as Cogsworth marks it, but it was long ago. I'm not speaking of time as I don't know. I skipped that.
I'm not speaking of time as Cogworth marks it.
But it was long, long ago. So I guess like a vague amount of time ago.
Yeah.
He was never, now we're on the top of this page over here. He was never one to think of others unless it was to show contempt. Filthy creatures. That's the bitch prince. Well, I don't see why I have to come so close to smell them. They are your people, Prince. They look up to you. You must set an example, Your Highness. The only example I'd like, what's this? So like there was going to be a joke and then he just got distracted. Why have we stopped? To let an old woman pass, Your Highness. This is outrageous. Do you think I've got all day to wait for you to pass, old hag? A young prince has nothing but time, and mine is so short, Your Highness. Look at her eye. She's the enchantress. So in this story, he's had multiple run-ins with this person, right?
So it's not just coming to the door.
So it's not just coming to the door. Like she's coming to the door premeditated. This is first degree spellcasting. Like she's had run-ins with him before. She's been watching him for
she wants to teach him a lesson.
She wants to teach him a lesson.
A 10-year-long lesson and 50 of his servants.
And 50 of his servants who she's watching them be reasonable.
Right.
This page. No one can talk to me like that. Oh dear, no. If you want your people to love you, you must earn their respect. They will love me because they have to. I must apologize for my young... She's gone. Witch stuff. Not surprising. She looked like a witch. She was. But now check out that crow and that like crow eye. So she like turns into a bird here. Did you see that? Do you see that, Papa? Do all men have to be monsters? That's Belle. There's a little cameo from young Belle in there. I wish you wouldn't make such general statements, my dear.
Not all men, Belle.
literally. And then there's a story. After this, there's a story that's young Belle and Maurice. And she's like, men are pigs. And he's like, that's me too. I mean, he just keeps... Okay, little cut in from actual Lumiere the Candle. We tried our best to guide him, but... Oh, no, that's Cogsworth. But my Cogsworth's not as good as Lumiere. We tried our best to guide him. But what could we do? Our hands were tied. He cared no more for the beasts of the field than he did for his fellow man. Oh, see, look. So, like, he's going to shoot a deer. It's not a good shot. No, my prince, it's not a sporting shot. But your highness, the pleasure of the hunt is in pitting yourself against a worthy adversary. You fat lot. You know the pleasure is in the shooting. And then that bird comes, the witch bird, and knocks his gun off. And it says Balloom, like guns do. Lumiere was only an animal. It's not the animal I fear for. We're almost done, guys. There were forces which protect the weak and helpless. Alas, my charge was neither, said Lumiere. There's that magic ass crow again. And then for no reason it turns into like a badger.
Weird.
Just to show that it could shapeshift, but we knew it could. Boy, if he really was that much of a jerk, I think I like him better now, says Chip.
What does that mean? What if he really was?
Chip says, I think he's better as a beast than he was.
Oh, I see.
Sigh, I'm not so sure. I do not agree with you. But here's he never listened to me when I told him it was bedtime. I'm sure if he had, things would have been much better. And so the prince took a nap, and we all lived happily ever after. He got more sleep than the rest of us as it was. I don't know what any of that has to do with anything. Now, it wasn't easy to see the good lad, but it's true. It wasn't easy to see the good in the lad, but it's true. After all, he was just a boy. And now, like, check this out. Chip is the worst. He was an eager student, loved books in the castle library, and he had such a surprising way with you, Chip. He's like pushing Chip on a swing. So, like, Chip was there.
So Chip's asking questions about why he was bad, but he was there.
In the Beauty and the Beast Christmas movie, which is my daughter's favorite and is the worst movie of all time, it starts with him being like, tell me a story. Tell me the story. Tell me the story of last Christmas. And like, they're like, okay. And then they tell Chip the story like he wasn't there. But in the story, like Chip ends up like falling into ice and like almost dying. And I'm like, you do not remember the time last Christmas that you almost died? And like half the castle collapsed and you got like stepped on by a horse? Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway. You needed someone to teach him a lesson. No denying that. If you aren't willing to change your own bad habits, someone else may come along and change them for you, just like she did.
Wow. Weird lesson.
It is a weird lesson. We haven't seen the end of it. Mark my words, there's still more changes to come. Knock on wood. You're getting wax on me, says Cogsworth. Well, I still don't see why he's always so crabby. Shh. Do you want him to hear you? Mrs. Potts. Here comes the beast. Yes, master? I can't find my music box. Have you seen him?
Good beast.
I'd try. Better than my Mufasa. I do believe I heard him singing in the library. You go have a look, master. There's your answer, Chip. Inside, there's still a little boy who hasn't had his nap. The end. For now. Yeah. So.
It's, you know what's so weird about it? It's like, I wish they had just made it like a time thing. Because I know in the live action movie, he's like an adult person. And it's like very Louis the 14th, you know, he's like decadent and everybody's poor.
Right.
Just like an evil guy.
Right.
And he needs to learn a lesson of like empathizing with people.
Mm-hmm.
But this, he was just like a kid who's like, yeah.
And then here's the thing. So at first, so this was the question I was going to ask you like a couple weeks ago. So I was watching Beauty and the Beast and realizing that they've been in there for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chip is like 7.
Sure.
So I was like, does that mean that 2 coffee cups did Mrs. Potts get it on as a pot and give birth to Chip the cup? Anyway, it's clear that no, Chip was a kid.
Yes.
Turned into Chip the cup. But then they've been in this place for like 11 years, and Chip the kid is still Chip the kid.
Right.
But Beast the boy is now like Beast the young man. So like, are they in like a time warp?
But but that's the thing. Is he a young man? Was he a little boy when he was transformed?
I don't
because
know.
There's also that page where he's like getting pushed on the swing,
Right.
And it's Beast, but it looks like he's like older Beast.
Maybe you might be right. Hold on, let's see. Where's that at?
Right.
Yeah, it might be older. Yeah, I guess that could be like a time jump.
Yeah.
Even still, we've been objects for 10 years, and Chip is just a kid the whole time.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, it goes back to being a kid. It's like, so did we just lose like a decade of your life? Like, is it like in the MCU? Is it like when the finger snap happens and like half the population comes back and like 5 years?
Yeah. But maybe maybe that's why he can't remember Last Christmas. Maybe he has like short-term or like long-term memory.
Which makes this witch the worst villain of all time.
I mean, I think so.
Because she's watching the servants be like, I'm sorry. Look, he's the king. He's a prince. We're trying. That's it. What? Why? I was trying.
Also, it's not like she gets to see the lesson played out.
She just fucks off.
She fucks off.
Figure it out.
So
yeah, there's no redeeming qualities there. Carly, I don't know. I don't think so. Because that was the best performance of this book I've ever done, and it was really bad.
Does Lane like that story?
I mean, she loves it. She just likes Beauty and the Beast, and she likes. I think she likes. Let's do Beauty and the Beast voice, and this one doesn't have the Beauty and the Beast movie. So like, I'll read Aladdin all day. It'll take me an hour, and we get to do all the voices and do all the jokes and just do lines from the movie. And like, I'll add lines from the movie that like they cut out for time. I'm like, no, we have time. We'll put it back in. But there's no like Beauty and the Beast story.
Yeah.
Even though they use the same amount of real estate in Beauty and the Beast spin-off stories that are problematic and weird. That's it.
That's a good book, bad.
It's a good book, bad. I just mostly because I truly despise it. She comes to me with this book, and I'm like, what do I read? And she's like, can you read Beauty and the Beast? I'm like,
Okay.
no, I just say no. I'm like, no, maybe let's do Aladdin. She's like, no, I want to read Beauty and the Beast. I'm like, fine. Once upon a time, all this stuff happens. It's fine, and none of it adds up. And Lumiere, his grandfather was a clock. It's fine. Let's move on. I want to see yours.
Okay. So I've been pretty well. I'll just go for it. This is called Little Man of Disneyland.
All right.
And there's
a little man there.
There is a little man there. This sort of sums up also how I kind of feel about Disney in general. I think. I mean, I like Disney stuff, and I'll watch Star Wars all day now that they own Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just because they own Star Wars now, but like it's the business model, the entire multinational corporation thing. I mean, this is exactly how I feel about it. So
okay.
Patrick Begora woke up one bright morning feeling very fine. He fixed himself a bit of breakfast, and set out for his morning stroll. When he came to the doorway of his snug small house at the roots of an old orange tree, Patrick stretched his arms and swelled his chest for a breath of fresh morning air. Then he lit his pipe. But the pipe almost fell out of his mouth, and his arms froze straight out in the air. So shocked was he at the sight he saw. There were people in his orange grove, big people, striding around as if they owned the place. Well, Patrick Begorra was not the last of the little people left in all of Movieland for nothing. He had courage, did Patrick Begorra. So he stepped right up to those big people to find out what this was about. At first, they wouldn't even look at him. But Patrick took care of that. He stamped down hard, right on the foot of one, Donald Duck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do Donald Duck's voice because I'm very bad at Donald Duck's voice.
It's okay. We all are.
Ow! Cried Donald Duck. I've been stung. Must be bees around here. He looked down. Then, what's this? He cried. Who in the world are you? Firstly, this page, I just want to make it clear that he clarifies that he is the last of the little people left in all of Movieland.
Sure.
Which sort of implies that there has been a massive genocide, little people genocide.
Yes. Correct.
So, continuing.
Just with that knowledge, kids.
Just with that knowledge. Who are you yourself is the proper question, said Patrick Begorra right back. This is my home. After all, has been these many years. And what, may I ask, are you doing here, acting as if you own the place without so much as a by your leave from Patrick Begorra, which is me? Who are we? Cried Donald Duck. Don't you go to the movies? Don't you watch TV? Don't you read books or newspapers? Don't you know Goofy and Pluto? Don't you know Donald Duck? No, said Patrick, and he blew smoke ring right in Donald's face.
I think I see where this book is going, and it's amazing.
My name is Mickey Mouse, sir, said one of the other big people, stooping down to hold out his hand. So, this is your home here, Mr. Begorra? That it is, said Patrick Begorra, and I'd like a little peace and quiet. I'll thank you all to leave at once. Well, said Mickey, I'm afraid we can't do that. You see, we're going to start building here soon. We're going to move all these old trees. Move these trees. I know.
We can't do that.
This came out in 1955.
Yep.
Move these trees, start building here, cried Patrick Begorra, jumping up and down in a purple rage. Oh, no, you don't. Not while I'm around. And what can you do to stop us, little fella? Asked Donald Duck with a chuckle, leaning on his shovel in a cocky way. I'll show you, said Patrick with a snap of his fingers, and down in a heap went Donald Duck, for his shovel had splintered just like that. So Patrick Begorra is a leprechaun with magic.
Yes.
What happened? Cried Donald, picking himself up. Let that be a lesson to you, said Patrick Begorra. Oh, don't mind him, said Goofy. Let's start digging up these trees. And what was it you planned to build here? Some sort of school, perhaps? Asked Patrick. No! A wonderful place called Disneyland, said Mickey, with all sorts of marvelous things for fun. A rocket trip to the moon, for one, and a wonderful Wild West stagecoach ride, a magic pirate ship that can really fly, and a trip to the mine of the Seven Dwarves. Rocket trip? Flying pirate ship? You must be out of your head, my boy, said Patrick Begorra. There are no such things. Come along and see. We'll show you the plans. They're back at the studio, said Mickey Mouse. Before he knew what he was about, Patrick Begorra found himself walking along with Mickey and the rest. But he stopped short when they opened the door into a strange-looking bubble of glass. Oh, no, you don't, he cried in alarm. I'll not go in there. What is it, anyway? It's a helicopter. A kind of airplane. Come along for the ride, said Mickey. When he saw all of the rest of them piling in, Patrick Begorra went too. Soon, with a whir and a rush of the blades, up went the helicopter, straight up in the air, and the ground dropped away below. My, but you should have heard Patrick yell then. He had never dreamed of such a thing. But soon, he was busy watching the sights as they flew over oil wells and city streets towering brown hills that he had no time to be scared.
What?
I think this is supposed to be a pleasant view for him. I I think that's what the book is implying.
Oh, how magnificent! Towers of oil.
Oil wells, as far as the eye can see. Then they swooped down to the studio, and soon Patrick found himself deep in Disneyland plans, the likes of which he had never seen. There were rows of pretty little shops, winding rivers, an overhead railroad train, so many wonderful things to see that Patrick's head was spinning. "This is what you're planning to build when you root up my orange trees?" he asked. "Yes," said Mickey. "That's our plan." "Then go ahead, lads, if you can," said Patrick Pecora. "The place is yours. There's just one little thing I ask. May I build a wee, snug little house and live there quietly after you have finished this Disneyland?"
No!
The guy's just giving up his home.
That's it.
That's insane.
You convinced me. I should be homeless.
"Fine," said Mickey. "We'll build you the house. How about one of these?" "No, lad, no," said Patrick Pecora. "I like a place out of sight, hidden away, so to speak." "All right," said Mickey, "just as you say." So they shook hands on it. The bargain was made. They all flew back to Disneyland, and next morning the work began. Every day Patrick came to watch, and with every day that passed, it seemed the picture changed. One day the railway station went up, the entrance to Disneyland. Then, almost in the blink of an eye, Main Street was taking shape. Soon it was time for the last tree to come out, the one with Patrick's home at its roots. "Sorry, Pat," said Mickey.
What?
"It's got to go, but we'll find you a good new place." "Don't bother," said Patrick. "I've picked one myself." But he would not say where his new house was. He trundled out his household goods in his wee wheelbarrow, and all day he sat in the barrow's shade. And at night, when everyone had gone home, Patrick wheeled his wee barrow through the shadows of Disneyland to the secret spot he'd picked for his home. So when you visit Disneyland, keep your eyes wide open. Maybe you'll see a wee man in green smoking a small clay pipe. Maybe you'll follow him when he goes home and find out where he lives. If you do, you'll be the only one in the world who's found Patrick Pecora's home.
That's amazing.
What?
That's amazing.
There's still... So I picked this
Is that
book.
written by Walt Disney? Or was it written by like the court reporter from the lawsuit?
I don't know how this came out. This is insane.
So you said, so I Googled it. So July 17th, 1955 was when Disneyland opened. So this book was released in conjunction with the opening of Disneyland. First of all, we just need to talk about like how delightfully evil it is to to imagine Mickey Mouse being like white people and Patrick Pecora being like every race and Native American and anything ever, where it's just like, sorry, can't do that. I live here now. Like, oh, I've been in my tree for 1,000 years. Like, what are you going to do to stop me?
Also, like the fact that they've like created this book to explain to children if they ever like, well, what happened to the people who lived here?
Right. Well,
And
first
they
of
wrote
all,
this book, and they're
a
like,
whole bunch of them got killed off screen.
no, they're somewhere around here. You go look for them.
No, just one.
That's
One
part
left.
fun of
We
Disney.
murdered them all on accident. The bulldozers did that. Bulldozed this whole grove and accidentally killed a shitload of leprechauns. And then one came out, and then we just told him to his face that we were going to do what we wanted. And then he was like, all right, you can do what you want, but just do me a favor and save me a tree. And they're like, deal. Just kidding. That tree's got to go. Where should you go now? And he was like, I'm not telling you because you'll murder me. So kids, look for the leprechaun who's hiding in exile.
In Disneyland.
Yep. If you want to see your house, you should have come to the planning meetings. Should have been. I just the voice on this is amazing. Like the voice is amazing. Like what we're doing is the most important work.
Right.
What we the Walt Disney Corporation are doing is more important than trees or people's homes. Because I would imagine that some homes got bulldozed.
Oh, absolutely.
To make a Disneyland.
it's like this book is like encapsulating like American exceptionalism in its heart, in its like little wicked heart. And I mean, like, because like every little kid's gonna be like, yeah, of course, where's Mickey gonna live? He should live there. What a horrible thing to make kids think.
And the whole book is also propaganda to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Now he got to go find the little leprechaun that we kicked off his reservation.
Yeah.
And he's just living in exile under the freaking smoothie stand.
The last of his kind. The last of the little people of movie land.
I respect the balls that when writing a propaganda piece starring your character, it's not even like Walt Disney himself being like, "That's right, Mickey. See what we're doing here is very important work," and the Nazis weren't that bad. I like that you could make it be anything, right? It's propaganda. You could make it be a story about like a sick kid who needs Disneyland to get healthy, right? Like, but in the story, it's just, we want to do it, and you can't stop us.
Like, what are you going to build here? A school? Something important?
No, better.
Someplace where we can make money.
A monument to capitalism. In the middle of your home. And well, I'll make you a deal. Just give me one small tree where I can watch it all happen. No.
Sorry.
You can have it while the construction crews are here. But then we're taking that tree out because it doesn't go with the flow of Main Street USA.
It's I picked this up explicitly to like find a book bad, and like this is the baddest book bad.
Yeah. This is the point. The point is like, this was the last tree. He was the last of his people because this was the last tree that Mickey and Donald apparently. The idea that like Mickey Mouse built Disneyland.
And like Goofy's like, we gotta get these trees out.
Yep. Nope. We're building it. We got the cement crew coming at 4.
Also, what is the nicest tree but an orange tree? Like, why destroy that tree?
Yeah, I thought this would be about Florida.
Yeah.
Florida was, I think, just swampland and shit. But like, yeah, like we're just, you know, the prettiest tree that gives you the best juice. Killed a whole ton of those.
The prettiest tree that gives you the best juice. You should write ads for Florida oranges. The prettiest trees that give you the best juice. That's good.
Oh my god. Oh, every week. Carly with the assist. Just chucks it off the backboard. Yeah, no, the giving tree would have been like, cut me down.
Yeah. Cut me down. You need a place to make billions of dollars.
You need wood for the planks in your railroad.
You need to own Marvel Studios in 50 years.
Yeah. It's amazing. I can't, I mean, here's the thing. I can despise what they represent, but also like, it's like 90% of the entertainment of this house and 70% of it is really good.
This might be a deeper philosophical conversation, but it's like, there's so many artists that like, you know, we've come to the point in our society where it's like, we have to separate the art from the artist because this guy turned out to be a horrible person.
Right.
And like, it's sort of the same thing that's happening with this. And I know it's like individuals make the movies, but like under the umbrella of Disney, it's like, can we separate like Moana, for instance, is like great stuff to me, but like the people who benefit from it, all white people. Like it's great representation.
What's your? We were talking about Coco,
Right?
And I was like, yeah, I just think like it was really cool, and like they found this voice, and you were like, yeah, I think more likely they just wrote Mexican movie on the board, and, like workshopped it, and you're like, you're probably right. They probably are just like checking off their list of like generate or like subsets of people that we can just make $500 billion off of.
Think about like the kids who like see themselves in Miguel from Coco and like see their family, and it's like, what does that mean to that kid? Like, so is it bad or is it good? Like, I mean, like, I don't know. I can't. I don't think we have the time to parse it out.
We certainly don't. My privileged, spoiled white self tends to lean on the side of like, if the chicken sandwich is good, I'm probably going to eat the chicken sandwich. If the movie is good, I'm probably going to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And I can take the product, for the most part, away and just be like, look, you're selling a product and you're selling what I think is the best product. So I would like to purchase that product. And I think I'm able to just decide. And it's not even like, well, how could you give your money to that company because they do bad things? I'm like, yeah, but like everyone's terrible. And that's not, and that's I don't like saying this because it's not true necessarily, but like, I don't know. If there was a company that was also making really awesome stories about female empowerment and did so and donated all their profits to like kids hospitals, I'd be like, well, let's watch that, Moana.
Right.
But instead, I just signed a 3-year deal to get Disney Plus in my house because it was a good deal. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, it's like the number one thing we turn on is Disney Plus, and it's you know, I genuinely like all of the entertainment, all of it.
I'm also going to allow for the fact that the people aren't the same, right? It's like, I love the Cubs, and I've loved the Cubs forever. And the Cubs have been a team since like 5 years after the Civil War, right? So I don't, like, who am I talking about? I'm talking, like Jerry Seinfeld says, you're rooting for the laundry. Like the Cubs, every 10 years, it's an entirely different group of adults, right? And like some of those guys end up being problematic. They like beat their wives or like got DUIs or whatever. And you're like, oh, I don't like that. That's bad, you know? But I like the baseball and I like the team. And this is the team that I like, you know? So like I'm allowing for the fact that the people who write the movies at Disney and the people who make the stories and the people who draw the eyebrow, like I would just watch that Into the Unknown documentary. It's like, fuckers spend like 4 years to animate Elsa being like, what? Like, that was your job. That was your job, was for her to go, what? Like, because it's so painful. And that person is like geeked to be working on this movie and seems like a genuinely good person, right? So like, I have to allow that there are more good people, that it's made by a lot of good persons, and that the company as a whole is problematic, but
I think it's hard to be ethical in a structure that like isn't, right. Like you can't change it,
right?
Like I'm like, me not watching Disney Plus isn't gonna help Disney.
Yeah, it's like, and that's even scarier. Where it's like, well, my boycotting it does nothing, so I might as well watch. Like, that's not even true either. It's not even what I believe. It's like I've given them, since my daughter was born, they've probably gotten like 7,000 of my dollars because we took a trip there and have, well, $1.95 here. There you go. You're welcome, WALTERMOÜS.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We didn't come to any conclusions tonight, but
that's not what we're here to do, Ramel.
we're here to just goof. We're just
drink and read books.
And that's what we'll tell the lawyers if they're watching.
This was fun. We're talking about a different company.
Yeah, Disney.
Gary Busey's thing.
Gary Busey's Disney company. His animation corporation.
Right. We love you all. We're going to get off the air before we get fired.
Night, guys.